I don't want you to come back until you lose the weight loss goal I'm going to give you, because there is no reason to put that strain on your body.
When it comes to unforgettable television, My 600-Pound Life has delivered some of the wildest moments in reality TV history. From shocking behavior to unbelievable twists, these scenes had fans talking long after the credits rolled. Each wild moment showed just how unpredictable the journey to change can be. We're diving into the most wild and outrageous moments ever seen on My 600-Pound Life. Julian's reflection fills him with disgust. Every glance in the mirror reminds him of the weight crushing both body and spirit. At 33, tipping past 700 pounds, his world feels like a nightmare he can't wake from. He hates his reality and despises what food has done, yet food remains his only comfort. He clings to meals as a lifeline, the one thing that numbs despair. His question now: can Dr. Now intervene before it's too late? His story begins here, not with triumph, but with the raw misery of a man desperate for redemption and a chance.
I only get up for limited things, really. The main one being to cook. That's one of my passions, and it's something I'm good at. So usually what I do when I first get up is make breakfast with my wife.
The kitchen is Julian's kingdom, and food is his throne. His meals look like feasts, enough to tempt anyone. His wife adores his cooking, praising him as the best cook she knows. But preparing breakfast is no easy task for Julian. He must move carefully, pausing often to catch his breath, terrified that overexertion might cause him to collapse. With his sheer size, falling could be disastrous. His mornings begin with food, but also with the shadow of danger hovering nearby. What looks like routine domestic bliss is, in reality, a balancing act between indulgence and the threat of catastrophe.
Me and Irma also live with my grandmother and my mom, so I also cook for them at times too. But I mostly cook for Irma because we're always together.
Julian confesses openly, food is his sanctuary. It makes him feel untouchable, as though problems melt away the moment he starts eating. To him, every bite is a shield from sadness, each meal a blanket of comfort. He admits food brings happiness unlike anything else, creating the illusion that nothing bad can reach him. That's why he eats constantly, filling his body with fleeting joy that masks lasting harm. Eating is his heaven, the one part of life that feels safe, yet it's also the habit destroying him, blinding him to the reality of his deteriorating health.
I wish I can do more on my own, but sometimes I have no choice anymore. And I hate that I'm like this now with my body and how I let it get like this. When I look in the mirror, I feel disgusted.
The cruel irony is that food, his greatest joy, is also his most dangerous enemy. Julian is humiliated needing his wife's help to bathe. Every time he calls, she hurries in, terrified he'll slip and injure himself. He admits the embarrassment of relying on her, but she insists it's necessary to protect him. Her fear is palpable. His size makes everyday routines treacherous. What should be private has become shared, dignity replaced with dependence. The man who once prided himself on independence is now watched constantly, tethered to his wife's vigilance, trapped in a body that refuses to cooperate.
He had to fight the battle of being not the man of the house because the husband came in, so they had their little battles.
But I tolerated him, and one of the main ways I knew to do that.
Julian's spiral began years earlier. When his mother remarried, his stepfather initially showed kindness, but that facade quickly cracked. The man revealed cruelty, making home life unbearable. At the same time, school bullies targeted Julian relentlessly, mocking his weight and isolating him further. Surrounded by pain at home and hostility outside, Julian turned to food as refuge. It became his coping mechanism, the one place he felt control. Every insult, every argument drove him deeper into eating. The boy who used food to survive chaos eventually became the man now imprisoned by the very coping strategy that saved him.
Right after that, my mom and my sisters moved down, and I felt like at that time, when I was about 20, 21, we started to be a family again. Just me, my mom, and grandma, and my sisters.
Just when things seemed to stabilize, life delivered another crushing blow. Julian's stepfather was arrested, and though his family gained freedom, Julian's own struggles deepened. He excelled academically, dreaming of becoming an electrician, but when he applied for a position, his weight became the deciding factor. Despite ranking at the top of his class, the company refused to hire him after seeing his size. That rejection devastated him, stripping away confidence and opportunity. His body had become not just a burden, but a barrier locking him out of a future he desperately wanted. The humiliation haunted him deeply.
And, you know, this new man coming in your family, I can understand his hesitation, but What I didn't understand was when I stayed the night, he must have just got pissed off and cussed me out royally in Spanish.
Julian's personal life also carried wounds. He still regrets never having the wedding he imagined. His wife's grandfather despised him from the start, condemning their relationship the moment he saw them together. Julian felt alienated, even unwanted by her family, and at times considered walking away, but true love prevailed. His wife stood by him, choosing Julian over her grandfather's disapproval. Despite the ridicule and rejection, she committed to building a life with him. That loyalty is his anchor, proof that despite everything, someone sees worth beyond his size. She became his defender, his partner, his saving grace.
At my size, my chance to have kids could pass me by, and that's the most heartbreaking for me. So I know I have to lose the weight, but that's easier said than done.
Julian's wife worries constantly she's losing her husband piece by piece. She admits the fear of waking up one morning to find him gone. His size has stripped away their intimacy, robbed them of hopes for a family, and left their marriage overshadowed by uncertainty. Julian acknowledges the truth. Unless he changes, they may never have children, never share the future they dreamed. He knows he must fight, but the battle feels overwhelming. Still, reality is closing in. If he doesn't act, time will run out. For both of them, the urgency to change has never been greater.
I know the odds of something very bad happening to me, so I tell myself every day, you know what? Forget the dangers outside. I'm gonna just go ahead and get up at 6 in the morning and go walk.
Finally, Julian resolves to confront his condition. He admits that time is slipping away, and his marriage is at risk of collapsing under the weight of his struggles. His wife mourns their lost intimacy, grieving the closeness they once shared. Together, they decide he must see Dr. Now. It's a terrifying choice, but one born of necessity. Their hope is fragile, but determined. The trip to Houston looms long and painful, yet Julian believes it's his only chance. With resolve building, he prepares for the battle ahead, praying Dr. Now can help him reclaim the life slipping away.
I'm at Dr. Now's for my first appointment, and I'm about to find out what my weight's up to.
Your weight is 830.
The trip to Houston proves grueling, but Julian and his wife make it. Exhausted, he steps onto the hospital scale, bracing for bad news. He guesses he's under 750 pounds, but the truth shocks them both. The number reads 830. His wife is stunned into silence, unable to process the reality of his weight. Julian looks devastated, confronted with just how far his condition has spiraled out of control. The weight isn't just physical, it's emotional, symbolic of years of denial. This sobering moment strips away illusions. Change is no longer optional, it's survival, and the clock is ticking.
If we're not going to move ahead with you. So we'll set up an appointment at a clinic in Tucson for you to get your weight checked. And if you made it to your goal, then the next step is you're going to have to move down to Houston to do the program.
Dr. Now wastes no time delivering harsh truth. Julian's size is life-threatening, and unless he changes immediately, his days are numbered. The demand is clear: lose 100 pounds within 2 months, or forget about surgery altogether. In addition, Dr. Now insists Julian relocate to Houston to stay under close supervision. It's a strict ultimatum, but one Julian cannot afford to ignore. The goal looms heavy, but it's a lifeline. For the first time, Julian confronts just how urgent his situation has become. He must decide: cling to the habits killing him, or fight for survival with everything.
So I'm gonna keep working at this over the next month, so that when I go to the doctor and get my weight, I'm where I need to be so I can move to Houston. And we're ready to take that leap when we have to, if it means I'm gonna get the chance for surgery.
Back home, Julian pushes himself to meet the doctor's demand. Even the smallest workouts leave him gasping, his body threatening collapse. Yet he keeps going, driven by fear and hope. His wife joins him, supporting him every step, turning their battle into a shared mission. Together, they shift routines, trading indulgence for progress. Their teamwork inspires optimism. They look like a couple determined to win. It's a fragile start, but progress is visible. Still, the stakes remain enormous. Every slip risks failure, but for the first time, Julian seems willing to dig deep and truly fight.
At my last appointment 2 months ago, I was 830 pounds. And Dr. Now told me to lose 100 pounds. If I succeed, I'll be under 730 today.
Must be over the weight limit. It's not reading your weight.
But the road is rough. Julian visits a local clinic, eager to measure progress. He climbs onto the scale, only for disappointment to strike. The machine can't register his weight. He's still too heavy, exceeding its limit. The moment stings, crushing his optimism and casting doubt over his efforts. His wife tries to encourage him, but the setback hangs heavy. They now wait for Dr. Now's judgment. Will he see determination despite the obstacles, or another patient refusing to deliver results? Julian's second chance depends on discipline, and the next steps could make or break his future completely.
So there's not much we can do if you don't start changing your eating habits. So whatever you're eating, cut back and eat less. And I'm going to give you another 2 months to lose 100 pounds from 830.
Well, that pretty much says it. Dr. Now is not happy about his progress. He tells Julian that the only way he can be approved for weight loss surgery is if he meets the goal and can show that he is actually ready to lose weight. The doc then tells Julian to go over the diet and stick to it. I guess this is his second chance to redeem himself in Dr. Now's eyes.
Oh my goodness, thank you.
Hello.
Hey, Dr. Now.
Hi, Julian. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing real good.
Yay! And finally, he meets the mark. Man. For a second there, I was starting to think that Julian was not going to meet this goal this time around. Guess he proved us wrong. Julian goes to the clinic to have his weight checked for a second time, and he has been able to lose 116 pounds, which is even more than the doc wanted him to lose. Well, let's see if the doc approves him and he can pack his things and move down to Houston.
If I lose more weight, continue just eating the correct way that I'm supposed to eat, he would end up approving me for weight loss surgery. That's the main thing I'm looking forward to. Dr. Now, he approved us to move to Houston.
This is Chuck's journey. During the filming of his episode, Chuck's wife, who also served as his caretaker, divorced him and walked away in one of the most shocking turns ever seen. Right now, Chuck can still manage to walk, though only barely. He has lymphedema the size of a small child on his leg and shuffles like a toddler. His story begins here.
My weight makes things a lot harder on me. It's hard for me to breathe. It's hard for me to stand. It's hard for me to get around. It's hard for me to do normal things.
That is truly intense. Considering what Chuck is enduring, you might assume his wife, or at least his family, is sympathetic toward his battles, right? Well, yes, she is. And maybe that's the reason Chuck still makes time to eat. And I don't just mean eating casually. I mean fully stuffing himself with the richest and least healthy foods he can manage to get.
Locked myself away and ate fast food 3 times a day. Not really thinking about food, I just blanked my mind out. For a long time, I lost all concept of my weight.
If it sounds like Nissa intends to leave with Nathan, you are absolutely correct. She has admitted she wants to, and she has explained their relationship cannot last much longer unless there is a serious change. That is the reason Chuck has turned to Dr. Now for weight loss surgery.
Yeah, you know, the thing doesn't work that way, okay? Surgery only does one thing, keep him from eating a lot at one time. You still can eat all day and he can gain 10 pounds.
Dr. Now's solution for Chuck is simple, shed some pounds. But it proves very difficult for Chuck, especially because right after leaving the hospital, he heads straight to a restaurant and stuffs himself with anything he can. When Nissa pleads with him not to, he replies, Dr. Now doesn't have to know.
Sometimes I eat stuff I shouldn't eat. I realize it's killing me. I gotta do something about it. But I'm a person that don't like change.
Dr. Now might not realize, but the scale absolutely does. What's shocking is that despite blatantly breaking his diet just minutes after his visit, Chuck somehow still hit his weight loss target. In fact, he didn't just meet it, he matched the goal exactly, right down to the last detail.
All right, so we get you prepared for your operation, okay?
Yes, sir.
Chuck, he demonstrated that he can control his eating habit, and I think he's ready for surgery.
He later underwent weight loss surgery, and it turned out to be a success. But this was also when tension began to grow between Chuck and his wife, Nissa, and that strain only kept building throughout the entire episode. Here is a look at what took place directly after the surgery.
Hi, son.
Hi, Daddy.
I love you, boy.
Oh, look. We're gonna go take him home, okay? We're gonna take him home, okay?
Take him home.
That is rough. Can their marriage survive such constant conflict? The answer is still uncertain. Another issue is that surgery hasn't eliminated Chuck's hunger. While he eats smaller portions, his love for sweet and savory treats remains strong. He can't help but enjoy them whenever he gets the chance.
Get in the lane.
Cuss at me.
You be quiet. Sit there and be quiet. Don't say nothing. Damn.
What?
I'm hurting. You're hitting bumps. I'm hurting.
Eventually, Nissa decides to leave. Her reasoning is that even after shedding weight, Chuck continues doing very little around the house, making him just as unhelpful as he was when he was severely overweight. And here is where that part of their relationship and its painful unraveling truly begins.
Just give me a chance. Let's work this out. Look at me, please.
No.
Is this just all about money?
I'm miserable.
Okay.
Nissa is clearly serious, especially since she too had weight loss surgery and is working through her own recovery. Naturally, this devastates Chuck, and it highlights the fact that surgery doesn't magically solve every issue. His transformation reveals that some struggles remain far beyond losing physical weight alone.
Skin removed? I don't have nobody to take care of me. She don't care. She does not care. I love that baby. Stop thinking about him.
Nathan's life is collapsing under unbearable weight, literally and emotionally. At 35, every action is agony, especially with the open sore festering on his leg. He wakes each morning to pain so overwhelming that simply existing feels like torture. He admits he doesn't even know his true weight anymore, a frightening detail that underscores his denial. His mornings are the hardest moments, a tidal wave of misery crashing the second he opens his eyes. This feels less like life and more like survival. Could this finally become Nathan's alarm bell, pushing him toward change? His difficult journey begins.
I can't really lay down anymore, you know? I can't breathe if I do because my weight pushes the air out of my body. So I started sleeping in my chair, but I hate that because it means that I can't sleep by my wife Amber anymore.
Imagine waking up each day already in pain, only to discover that even sitting brings no relief. That's Nathan's grim reality, and it explains why he dreads mornings more than anything. The weight presses down relentlessly, his body screaming before the day even starts. Work is no longer possible. He's on medical leave, trapped at home with health worsening by the week. The only exercise left is walking his dogs, but even that short activity leaves him winded and overwhelmed. His body has become his greatest enemy, and he's slipping further into a cycle of discomfort and hopelessness daily.
And sometimes I don't get as clean as I want to. Sometimes my wife has to help me, but when she's gone, I try to do it on my own.
The wound on Nathan's leg is horrifying, the result of uncontrolled lymphedema. It leaks fluid constantly, a grotesque reminder of the toll his weight has taken. After showers, he must carefully dry and protect it, terrified of infection spiraling into something even worse. The sight alone is gut-wrenching, but for Nathan, it's everyday reality. No one should live in such conditions, bound to a body that punishes him with every movement. It's more than embarrassing. It's dangerous, a festering symbol of a life spinning out of control. Watching him endure it feels both heartbreaking and unbearably sad to witness.
There isn't a moment where I'm not craving something to eat. No matter what I'm facing, food will make it better. Food is my relief and my comfort, and it's what I constantly want.
Food is the only thing in the world that doesn't talk back unless it gives you acid reflux.
It's just gonna make you feel better.
With all his struggles, food has become Nathan's last refuge. He despises his condition, hates his limitations, but eating offers him temporary escape. Each meal becomes a breath of fresh air, a fleeting moment where his worries fade. He admits food is the one thing keeping him sane, but it's also the very trap chaining him down. His dependence is obvious, the classic cycle of comfort turning into destruction. The sadness deepens when you realize he eats not out of hunger, but out of desperation. Food isn't fuel anymore. It's the drug that both soothes and slowly destroys him.
But the downside of that, obviously that led to me putting on weight. I didn't realize it at first, but in junior high when I was 13, that's when the bullying really started because of my weight.
Nathan's story with food stretches back to childhood, where it was present in every aspect of family life. In his home, food wasn't just nourishment, it was celebration, comfort, and even medicine. Headaches, have a snack, sadness, here's a plate. Growing up surrounded by overindulgence, he quickly put on weight. School made everything worse. His size made him a target for cruel bullies. To cope, Nathan leaned harder into eating, making food his shield against pain and rejection. That coping strategy became a lifelong addiction. What once helped him survive childhood trauma is now threatening his adulthood and very existence.
The first time I saw Nathan, I could see what made him special. He's a great person. He is an amazing theater director. He is an amazing teacher.
The disappointment of failed weight loss surgery lingers heavily over Nathan's life. He once tried to change, but the procedure didn't move forward, and with that setback, his motivation collapsed. He gave up entirely, retreating into food as both punishment and comfort. The silver lining is his devoted wife, who stands beside him despite everything. She's his support system, encouraging him to fight again. Yet their shared love for food complicates things. They eat together excessively, bonding over the very habit destroying them. It's a dangerous partnership where love and addiction intertwine, fueling each other instead of healing.
So now I'm at the point where I'm 600 pounds and I have a huge lymphedema mass on my leg that pretty much keeps me stuck in my chair all day, every day. I wanted to be a good father to our kids just as much as I wanted to be a good husband to Amber.
But love strained by illness begins to fracture. Nathan's wife admits she can no longer watch him eat with abandon, not after years of watching him give up on change. Resentment creeps in. She is disgusted by his refusal to fight after surgery failed. Their marriage, once held together by food and routine, is now unraveling under the pressure. Nathan fears he may lose more than his health. He could lose his family entirely. The reality is brutal. His choices now affect not just himself, but his wife and children. Without intervention soon, he risks losing everything.
Being able to have, I guess, an intimate relationship, not like a sexual relationship, because Nathan and I have never.
Hey, look, they have croissants too.
Nathan's wife feels the crushing weight of their situation daily. She longs for the man she once enjoyed life with, but is now reduced to eating beside him and providing constant care. The resentment bleeds into fear. She worries she's following in his footsteps. Already weighing 400 pounds, she blames Nathan's inertia for enabling her decline too. Her concern is raw. If Nathan doesn't fight back, they could both end up bedbound, trapped in the same destructive cycle. What was once companionship now feels like a slow march towards shared destruction, and it terrifies her to think ahead.
If he goes on this, it would be benefit for both of them. Because if he can lose the weight, it'd make both their lives better.
Are you excited?
Yeah, I am.
Nathan has struggled with his weight since I've known him.
Finally, intervention arrives. Nathan's wife enlists her mother's help to push him toward change. Together, they convince him to take the daunting step of visiting Dr. Now in Houston. For Nathan, even the trip feels overwhelming. A long drive carrying both physical pain and emotional weight. The family hopes his condition isn't too severe for treatment. It's a pivotal moment, a crossroads. Either he accepts this opportunity as his lifeline or slips further toward inevitable decline. The car ride may be grueling, but what awaits in Houston could determine whether Nathan gets another chance at life.
So he either does this and hits his goal to show me what I need to see from him, or weight loss surgery won't be enough because it will ultimately fail if he isn't willing to do at least his part.
At last, Nathan reaches Houston, surprising everyone by surviving the grueling journey in stable condition. The scale reveals a staggering number, 607 pounds. The reality is sobering, yet Dr. Now immediately provides direction. Nathan must follow strict instructions, including diet changes and prescribed exercise. The demand is daunting. Lose 60 pounds in 2 months before surgery can even be considered. It's a brutal but necessary ultimatum. Nathan's future now hangs in the balance. If he proves capable, surgery awaits. If not, his health and family will continue to suffer. The responsibility is his alone to carry forward.
I don't even know how far we walked.
About 1/8 of a mile.
We can turn around if you
No,
need
go to
to.
the stop sign. I'm good. It hurts.
I try to walk every day for like 20 to 30 minutes.
Impressively, Nathan rises to the challenge. Since leaving the hospital, he has shown real dedication, sticking to the plan with unexpected focus. He begins walking with his wife, each step building momentum. She beams with pride, thrilled to see him finally investing in change. For the first time, Nathan appears determined not just to lose weight, but to save his future. Every pound lost feels like redemption, a piece of control reclaimed. Still, questions linger. Will this effort be enough to secure approval for surgery? The groundwork is there, but the test of commitment still awaits.
I think I have a good chance at it today. At the last appointment, I was 607 pounds. And Dr. Now told me to lose at least 60 pounds in 2 months. So that means I need to be under 547 pounds today.
The results are staggering. At his second appointment, Dr. Now expected a 60-pound loss. Nathan surpassed that, shedding an incredible 72 pounds. Pride radiates from his face, joy replacing shame. For once, the scale reflects his hard work instead of disappointment. His wife celebrates alongside him, relieved to see her husband finally motivated. The victory proves one thing: Nathan had the strength all along, but he needed the right push. His dedication silences doubts, and now all eyes turn to Dr. Now. Would his progress finally earn him the green light for surgery that once slipped away?
16 when I had a procedure done, and now I'm 60 pounds heavier than I was when I started that. There's just not words for that emotion right now.
The moment of triumph arrives. After months of struggle, sacrifice, and determination, Dr. Now delivers the words Nathan has long awaited. He is approved for weight loss surgery. The journey wasn't easy, but his hard work finally paid off. Nathan and his wife celebrate, both overjoyed and relieved that he will get the procedure denied to him years before. This moment symbolizes not just progress, but redemption, proof that setbacks don't have to define the future. Nathan's story is far from over, but for the first time in years, the path ahead feels hopeful and filled with possibility.
Lose at least 40 pounds. Then once he goes back on solids, he should be able to lose at least 20 pounds each month until he gets close to his target weight.